The galaxy had once belonged to humans in ways few could imagine. They had ships that crossed star systems, colonies that bloomed on distant planets, and technology that rivaled the oldest alien civilizations. But pride is often blind, and in their ambition, humans had made enemies. A coalition of alien powers, seeing humanity as reckless and dangerous, had declared war. The result was swift and decisive. Humans were cast out, exiled into the forgotten sectors of the galaxy. Captain Alara Voss watched the stars from the bridge of the Ardent Hope, the flagship of the surviving fleet. Her fingers traced the worn edges of the control panel as she listened to the hum of the ship. The fleet was small now, less than 100 ships, but each one carried the souls of humanity determined to survive. "Captain, sensors are picking up a nearby system," said Lieutenant Rain, her voice steady but tinged with excitement. "No known colonies, no known civilizations. Just stars and planets, it looks untouched." Alara nodded, her eyes narrowing. "Good, set course. Let's see if this place can give us a chance to breathe." The fleet slipped through the void, moving past dead stars and drifting debris. The universe beyond the known map was cold and silent. Most species avoided these sectors, calling them wastelands or the void, assuming nothing could live there. But humans were not like other species. When pushed to the edge, they adapted. Weeks passed as the fleet navigated asteroid fields and remnants of ancient, broken civilizations. Supplies ran low. Tensions flared. But humans, in their strange resilience, found ways to survive. They recycled every scrap, repaired broken engines with sheer determination, and turned derelict alien stations into floating habitats. They made life where there should have been none. One evening, as the fleet entered orbit around a small, unremarkable planet, the crew discovered something extraordinary. Hidden beneath the dense clouds were vast energy deposits, rare elements that could fuel ships for centuries. Alara's heart lifted. For the first time in years, humanity had hope. "This planet, it could be our home," she said softly, almost to herself. "We could build here, start again." Rain looked at her, uncertainty in her eyes. "If we do, the others will come looking. They'll want to stop us." Alara's expression hardened. "Let them. If humans can survive this long in the void, we can survive anything they throw at us." The fleet began descending toward the planet's surface. Humans worked together, stronger in unity than in isolation. Engineers and scientists collaborated to adapt alien technology, turning crude energy nodes into power sources. Farmers planted crops in biodomes, learning how to make the soil fertile using minimal resources. Children laughed in the artificial sunlight, unaware of the horrors the galaxy had tried to impose on their species. Meanwhile, outside the system, alien scouts began to take notice. They reported a strange phenomenon, human ships appearing where none should exist, new colonies growing faster than expected. Many dismissed it as impossible, but some began to whisper. The humans had been cast out, they said. They were weak. They could not survive without help. And yet here they were, alive, thriving, and building something no one could explain. Back on the planet, Alara gathered her leaders. "We've survived exile. We've survived hunger, fear, and endless cold, but survival is not enough. We need to grow. We need to make sure humanity is not just alive, but strong. Every day we stay here, we learn. Every challenge we overcome teaches us something new, and one day the galaxy will have to notice us again." Her words ignited something in the humans. Engineers worked faster, using alien scrap to build new engines. Scientists discovered ways to harness energy that no one had thought possible. Children trained with simulations that taught them navigation, strategy, and teamwork. Every member of the fleet became more than their role. They became part of a species that refused to be forgotten. One night, while Alara was walking through the habitat, she noticed Rain staring at the stars. "What are you thinking?" she asked. "About the galaxy," Rain replied. "About the other civilizations. They think we're broken, cast aside, but they don't understand us at all. They've never seen humans fight for survival with nothing but determination." Alara smiled faintly. "That's the thing about humans, Lieutenant. We don't give up, we learn. We adapt, and when the time comes, we rise again." Days turned into weeks. The humans had established a self-sufficient colony, and their ships were stronger, faster, and more efficient than ever. They had learned to combine old human methods with alien technology, creating something entirely new, a hybrid of ingenuity that the galaxy had never seen before. Then came the first test. A scout fleet from one of the alien powers entered the system, curious and cautious. They expected to find weakness, perhaps scattered survivors, starving and desperate. Instead, they found a bustling colony, ships moving in precise formation, and humans who stared at them with quiet confidence. The alien commander's voice crackled over communications. Humans. You were cast out for your recklessness. Why do you continue to exist? Alara stepped forward. Because we survive, because we adapt, because being cast out doesn't mean the end, and if you want to understand how, you will have to watch us grow. The aliens hesitated, confused by the calm and determination in her voice. No species they knew could rebuild so quickly, not in the void, not under impossible odds. They retreated, leaving humans in peace for now. But the message was clear. Humanity would not be ignored. Alara returned to the bridge and gazed at the stars. She knew the journey ahead would be even harder. The galaxy would not accept humans back easily. But she also knew something else. Humans had a gift no one could take away, the ability to rise when the universe tried to crush them. In the quiet of the night, children played in the biodomes, scientists tinkered with strange alien machines, and engineers repaired ships with tireless hands. Humans were alive, and more than that, they were thriving. They had been cast into the void, but the void had not broken them. If anything, it had made them stronger. Captain Alara Voss closed her eyes for a moment, feeling the pulse of the colony, the heartbeat of her people. We may have been cast out, she whispered, but humanity will rise again, and the galaxy will not understand how. The void was silent, but it held the sound of something new, a species refusing to vanish, refusing to be forgotten. The stars themselves seemed to shimmer differently over the human colony, as if acknowledging that, in exile, humanity had discovered its true strength. And so the first chapter of humanity's second rise began, not with fire or weapons, but with determination, ingenuity, and unity. They were no longer just survivors. They were builders, thinkers, and explorers. And the galaxy, wide and vast as it was, would soon have to pay attention. Humanity had survived the exile, but survival was only the beginning. Captain Alara Voss knew that to rise again, they needed more than just endurance. They needed knowledge. The void was vast, filled with mysteries that no human or alien had ever explored. And somewhere in that darkness lay opportunities that could change the balance of the galaxy forever. The fleet had settled into a rhythm. Colonies on the planet thrived under careful management. Engineers repaired alien machinery, scientists experimented with rare energy cores, and every day humans learned something new. The children of the colonies, born into exile, trained in simulation pods that prepared them for navigation, strategy, and teamwork. They were growing up in a world where survival meant innovation, and innovation meant power. It was during one of these routine expeditions that the fleet stumbled upon something incredible. Deep in uncharted space, they discovered a massive structure orbiting a dying star. The megastructure was enormous, its surface etched with symbols that glowed faintly against the blackness of space. No human had ever seen anything like it, and neither had any record in the galactic archives. "Captain, you need to see this," said Lieutenant Rain, her voice tight with awe. This could be the ruins of an ancient civilization, possibly one of the oldest in the galaxy." Alara's eyes widened as she approached the observation deck. The structure was unlike any ship or station they had encountered. Its scale was beyond comprehension, with layers of architecture spiraling into the void. "Prepare an expedition team," she ordered. "We need to know what this is, and more importantly, how it can help us." The humans approached cautiously. Sensors detected dormant energy cores scattered throughout the structure, some still radiating faint power. Most alien species would have seen danger and fled. Humans saw opportunity. They docked the Ardent Hope and sent teams inside to investigate, armed not just with weapons, but with curiosity, tools, and their unique ability to adapt. Inside, the megastructure was silent, but alive in its own way. Machines lay dormant, covered in dust and silence, yet their design hinted at intelligence far beyond anything humans had built. The walls were lined with conduits pulsing faintly, carrying energy in patterns humans could barely understand. "Look at this," said Engineer Kale, pointing to a control panel etched with symbols. It's some kind of AI network. I've never seen technology like this. It's centuries, maybe millennia, older than anything humans have built." Alara studied the panel. "Can it be activated?" Kale hesitated. It's risky. We don't know what it does, but we might be able to communicate with it. It could hold knowledge that no one has had access to for thousands of years. Humans worked tirelessly, using their adaptability and ingenuity to decipher the alien symbols. Days turned into nights, but they persisted. Finally, a soft hum filled the corridors. The AI had awakened. A holographic projection flickered to life, revealing an ancient being of light, its presence calm but powerful. "Who approaches the ruins of the first civilization?" the AI asked in a melodic, mechanical voice. Alara stepped forward, her voice steady. "We are humans, survivors of exile. We seek knowledge and we wish to learn." The AI paused, analyzing them. "Few species show such determination. Few survive against the void. Humans, you are persistent." The AI shared secrets that had been lost to the galaxy. Methods of faster-than-light travel that far exceeded current technology, energy sources that could power entire colonies, and strategies to navigate uncharted regions safely. Humans absorbed it all, combining the ancient knowledge with their own innovations. They repaired engines, upgraded shields, and developed communication systems faster than anything the galaxy had seen. While humans advanced, the galaxy began to notice strange phenomena. Fleets reported seeing human ships in sectors where no human should exist. Colonies flourished in seemingly impossible locations. The efficiency, speed, and coordination of human operations confounded alien observers. Many began whispering, "How is this possible?" They were cast out. They should have been extinct. Back in the colony, Alara gathered her leaders. "We cannot stop here," she said. "We have resources, knowledge, and determination. We must explore further. We must continue to grow, not just to survive, but to thrive." The fleet set out again, charting unknown regions and establishing new colonies. Humans encountered derelict stations, abandoned outposts, and even remnants of alien civilizations that had long vanished. Every discovery was a chance to adapt, repair, and improve. They used alien technology in ways its creators had never imagined. Energy cores once thought unstable were stabilized and multiplied. Ships moved with precision, guided by both AI assistance and human ingenuity. One day, a scouting vessel reported an unusual sight, an alien fleet attempting to suppress human expansion in a nearby system. The aliens assumed that humans were weak, unorganized, and easy to defeat. They had underestimated the species entirely. Alara convened her officers. "They think we are weak. They think we are simple survivors. Let's show them how humans fight, not with brute strength, but with intelligence, creativity, and coordination." The humans devised a plan that combined everything they had learned from the ancient AI, their own innovations, and their deep understanding of strategy. They set traps in the asteroid fields, created decoy ships, and used energy bursts to mislead enemy sensors. When the alien fleet arrived, they were caught off guard. Ships disappeared and reappeared unpredictably, while human ships struck with precision and efficiency. In the end, the alien fleet was forced to retreat, confused and humiliated. They could not comprehend how a species they considered broken had defeated them with intelligence rather than sheer force. Back on the planet, the human colony celebrated. Engineers repaired ships that had been damaged, scientists documented the battle and improved defenses, and children trained to be ready for the challenges ahead. Humans had proven that exile had not broken them. It had made them stronger, sharper, and more adaptable. Alara walked along the observation deck, gazing at the stars. "They don't understand us," she said quietly to Rain. "And they never will. We don't survive because we are stronger than them. We survive because we think, we adapt, and we trust each other. That is our advantage." "That is what makes humans unstoppable," Rain nodded. "The galaxy underestimates us because it looks at us and sees weakness, but we've learned to turn weakness into strength. Every challenge, every exile, every obstacle, it only makes us better." As the fleet prepared for the next expedition, humans continued to push the limits of their capabilities. They established research stations in uninhabitable regions, mined energy from dangerous stars, and built colonies that were models of efficiency and innovation. Each success fueled the next, creating a chain reaction of growth and advancement that alien civilizations could only watch in disbelief. Meanwhile, reports began to circulate among the alien powers. Humans were appearing where none should exist. They were thriving in impossible locations, building technology far beyond what the galaxy had seen. And still, they offered no aggression, only progress, exploration, and ingenuity. The galaxy began to whisper a new name: humans, the species that refuses to die. Ilara looked out at the fleet one last time before a mission. "We are not just survivors," she said. "We are explorers, builders, thinkers. The void taught us to endure. The universe will teach us to rise." And when the galaxy finally understands, it will realize humans were never meant to be controlled. Humans were meant to rise. The fleet slipped into the unknown once more, leaving behind a colony that shone like a beacon in the dark void. The humans had discovered an ancient civilization, unlocked its secrets, and combined that knowledge with their own creativity. They were no longer just surviving, they were ascending. In the silence of the void, the human fleet moved forward, guided by ingenuity, courage, and unity. Other civilizations watched, puzzled and uneasy. They could not comprehend how a species once cast out could advance so quickly, mastering technology, strategy, and survival in ways that defied logic. But humans did not need the galaxy to understand. They only needed each other, and that was enough. For every challenge faced, every obstacle overcome, humanity grew stronger. They had discovered not only ancient knowledge, but also their own potential. Exile had forced them to learn, to think differently, to innovate. And innovation, combined with resilience, created a force that no one in the galaxy had expected, and no one would soon forget. Ilara stood at the helm of the Ardent Hope, looking at the stars stretching infinitely before her. The humans of her fleet had survived exile. They had discovered wonders older than any living memory, and soon they would rise in a way the galaxy could not ignore. For the first time in centuries, humans were no longer just a species in hiding. They were a species on the rise. And nothing, not exile, not alien fleets, not the void itself, could stop them. The human fleet moved steadily through the void, guided by experience, innovation, and determination. They had survived exile, discovered ancient knowledge, and built thriving colonies where no one had believed life could exist. Humanity had become more than survivors. They had become a force of ingenuity and resilience that no alien civilization had expected. Captain Ilara Voss stood on the bridge of the Ardent Hope, watching the stars scroll past. Reports were coming in from every corner of their expanded territory. New colonies established, energy networks stabilized, ships moving with unmatched coordination. Humans had transformed exile into opportunity. "Captain," Lieutenant Rain said, pointing at the holographic display, "an alien delegation is approaching. It's the coalition. They want to meet." Ilara raised an eyebrow. "After all this time?" "They want to see humans alive and thriving," Rain nodded. "It seems they can no longer ignore us. They're sending a fleet, but the communication is formal. They want discussion, not combat." Ilara turned to the crew. "Prepare for a meeting. No weapons unless necessary. We are not going to fight them today. We are going to show them what humans have become." The alien delegation arrived in a fleet of sleek, unfamiliar ships. They had expected weakness, scattered survivors, or perhaps desperate negotiators. Instead, they found coordinated fleets, thriving colonies, and humans who moved with confidence and precision. The delegation's leader, a tall, crystalline being named Varkith, addressed the human leaders in a formal holographic meeting. "Humans," Varkith began, "you were exiled. The galaxy assumed your species would disappear. And yet, you endure. How is this possible?" Ilara stepped forward. Her voice was calm but firm. "We survived because we adapted. We survived because we worked together, trusted each other, and refused to give up. Exile was not the end. It was the beginning. Humanity learns, grows, and rises when faced with impossible odds." The aliens exchanged uncertain glances. They had expected arrogance, perhaps aggression. Instead, they found intelligence, strategy, and calm confidence. Varkith's voice trembled slightly. "Your technology, your colonies, your fleet. This progress is unexpected. How did you achieve it so quickly?" Ilara gestured toward the holographic display showing human colonies, ships, and energy networks. "We combined what we learned from our own past with the knowledge we discovered in the ruins of an ancient civilization. But more importantly, we never stopped believing in ourselves, even when the galaxy turned its back. Our strength is not only in our technology, it is in our people, in how we think, how we create, and how we face challenges together." The aliens were silent. They had expected weapons, fear, or surrender. Instead, they saw humans as a species that had turned survival into art, combining logic, creativity, and courage. The concept was difficult to understand. A species considered weak, cast out, now thriving with unprecedented ingenuity. Alara continued, "We do not seek dominance. We do not wish to conquer. We wish to explore, to grow, and to learn. We offer cooperation, not conflict. But make no mistake, underestimate humans at your peril. We have learned that limits exist only where others believe them to be." The delegation consulted quietly. Their knowledge of human history was incomplete. They had never encountered a species that could rebuild, adapt, and innovate so rapidly. Humans had turned exile into an advantage. They had learned to thrive where no one else could survive. Meanwhile, the human fleet demonstrated their capabilities. Ships navigated dangerous nebulae, energy cores stabilized unstable stars, and colonies coordinated supply and defense networks with precision that left alien observers astonished. The demonstration was quiet, almost casual, but its impact was undeniable. Humans had mastered complexity that others had deemed impossible. Varketh spoke again, softer this time. "You are unlike any species we have encountered. We cannot fully comprehend your resilience, your creativity, your unity." "How?" Alara smiled. "We are human, we learn, we adapt, and when we are challenged, we rise. That is how we survive, that is how we thrive. And that is how we will continue to rise, no matter who doubts us, no matter who casts us out." The alien delegation retreated, not in defeat, but in confusion. They had expected humans to plead, to surrender, or to retreat further into the void. Instead, they saw a species transformed, confident, and united. They could not understand it, and perhaps they never would. Back on the planet, humans continued to expand. They built colonies in systems previously thought uninhabitable, developed energy networks that powered entire regions, and trained new generations in the skills necessary for survival and exploration. Each colony was self-sufficient, yet connected to the others through advanced communications and logistics systems. The AI they had awakened in the ancient ruins became a mentor, assisting humans in navigation, research, and strategy. But the AI also recognized something unique. Humans were unpredictable, creative, and bold in ways no algorithm could anticipate. They adapted, innovated, and found solutions the AI itself had not foreseen. One day, a massive energy surge was detected in a star system near the edge of human territory. Alien fleets had long avoided it, assuming it too dangerous to explore. Humans, however, saw an opportunity. Using new propulsion technology and coordinated tactics, they entered the system safely and began harvesting the energy safely. This act astonished the galaxy. Humans were not only surviving in impossible locations, they were thriving, turning danger into advantage. The story spread quickly. Humans, species of exile, masters of the impossible. Alara addressed the fleet. "Every challenge we face is a chance to grow. Every obstacle is a test of our ingenuity, and every time we rise, we prove that humanity cannot be ignored." The humans cheered, not with arrogance but with pride and confidence. They had faced the void, the alien coalition, and the limits of technology, and they had prevailed. Not through weapons, not through force, but through intelligence, creativity, and unity. As years passed, the human colonies expanded further. Children trained to navigate starships, scientists unlocked new energy sources, and engineers built structures that surpassed anything in the known galaxy. The humans were no longer just survivors. They were leaders in exploration, innovation, and problem-solving. Then came the day when the coalition returned, this time not to cast humans out, but to understand them. Delegations arrived from multiple civilizations, observing human colonies, fleets, and technology. They saw humans managing dangerous regions, thriving in conditions that had crushed others, and developing strategies that no alien species had conceived. Varketh spoke to Alara once more. "Humans, you continue to rise. We cannot comprehend your methods, your speed, or your ingenuity. Your species is extraordinary." Alara smiled. "We do not seek your approval. We do not need you to understand. We only seek to live, to grow, and to explore. But know this, humans adapt, humans survive, and humans rise again no matter the odds." The aliens left, humbled and confused, but also with a new respect for humanity. They could not fully grasp it, but they had witnessed the results. Colonies thriving, fleets coordinating, and humans thinking in ways that no one had anticipated. In the quiet of the human colonies, life continued. Children played under artificial suns, Engineers built ships that could navigate the most dangerous regions, and scientists experimented with technologies that would redefine space travel. Humans were no longer cast out. They were a species that had transformed exile into power, adversity into innovation, and isolation into opportunity. Ilara walked through the central hub of the main colony, watching humans at work. She saw creativity in every corner, determination in every task, and collaboration in every interaction. The galaxy had underestimated humans, but humans had never underestimated themselves. She looked up at the stars, remembering the day they were cast into the void. The galaxy had thought it was the end. They had thought humanity would vanish, but instead humans had risen stronger than ever. "We may have been cast out," she whispered, "but humanity has returned, not to conquer, not to destroy, but to thrive, explore, and grow. And the galaxy will never understand how." The stars stretched endlessly before them, full of possibility and challenge. But humans were ready. They had faced exile, survived the void, and discovered ancient secrets. They had mastered technology, strategy, and survival. And now the galaxy would see a species that could not be predicted, controlled, or ignored. Humanity had risen again, and the universe, wide and mysterious, had no choice but to take notice. The void, once a prison, had become a proving ground, and humanity, forged in hardship, had emerged as a beacon of resilience, ingenuity, and hope. The galaxy would never forget them, not because of weapons, but because humans had proven that even against impossible odds, they could rise. And so, the story of humans in the void continued, a story of endurance, intelligence, and unity. A story that no alien civilization could fully comprehend. A story that celebrated the very essence of what it meant to be human. Exile had ended. Humanity had risen. And the stars themselves seemed to shine brighter, as if acknowledging a species that refused to fade into nothingness.